to the Winter Games Speedrun Saga, Day 8 of the 2024 Winter Games. So again, I found myself slightly different location. Oh, that looks a little unprofessional. I don't know how much I can help that. It's kind of funny that the court has invaded. Yeah, what can we do about that? You know what I can do? Guess I can just do this. It's not ideal, but it gets the job done. There we go. And I'll be playing, doing a run of Deep the Game. I know. They don't have like a colon in between, it's just Deep the Game. Not sure what motivated the name for it, but it's fun. It's a fun little PC game I discovered when I was scouring through a bunch of free games on Steam. And, I was just curious about it. It caught my curiosity. There's a bunch of these that I didn't open, so just kind of doing that right now. Sometimes that'll happen too. This game's a little glitchy. Deep the Game involves you going through a bunch of caves as quickly as possible. I will not be able to have a timer running over the course of this, but I will keep relative track of the time. What I'm going to do at the end of the day is, for anybody who missed out on it, I'll have a lot of it taken care of. Because we're doing this in a measurement of IGT, I will not be able to convert times on the fly while I'm going from story to story, so I will do that afterwards. When I press start, that'll be from the start time that I'm at, and I'll give about an approximate time of when I finish. I'll get RTA measured out at the end too, so it's not going to be anything too particularly crazy because I haven't played this game in forever. But we're going to be playing the story mode, which has 4 chapters. Each of them getting progressively more challenging than the next. I don't have too much to say. As soon as I click start on this is going to be when the run begins. So, should be fun. I haven't done this in a while. I guess one thing I might do is just maybe turn this down a little bit. I don't know. You know what would fix that problem? Because I realize my microphone is right here, and I can bring it back forward. I'm so used to having it like in console configuration, so this should be a bit better. Yeah, this looks better. Alright. What more do I have to say? I will get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, Deep the Game is got 4 different chapters. This first chapter is more or less just a bit of a tutorial. Got a few different controls that you can use. And there's like a few different types that you can utilize here. We're mostly going to be using a lot of jumping and rolling. I'm going to go for the... Okay, I'm not going to go for it anymore. Sometimes you go for the rolls and it can be worth it, while other times it's just better to kind of omit them in certain instances. I'll be omitting many rolls that are a little too risky. Not all the time, but it's just kind of like a safety measure to prevent like anything from going severely wrong. And we're gonna get through this first chapter relatively quickly. I'm kind of shocked I didn't take any damage there on the second set of spikes. or if it didn't really denote it. This is a section where you can very easily take damage here, so we gotta be kind of careful. There we go, got there, no problem. These first 20 levels are gonna be a bit of a breeze. This is kind of a semi-auto scroller. Not much to say about this section here other than you're just kind of going fast. You could climb up that spike area, but it's got one of the most challenging kind of just reverse wall climbs that you have to go for. There's my first death. That's fine. There'll be quite a number of those, especially in the later game. When we're cutting sort of through here as quickly as we are, there's going to be quite a few of those that happens here. Let's see, just going to kind of zigzag. You can one wall each one of these, but I'd say you're better off not doing it in the first place. We have a bit of a special section we just kind of cut away from here. So there's like the upper and lower paths. I kind of rotate which ones I take. Bit reckless there, but didn't cost me a terrible amount of time. I believe it's this section. Yep. There's a few dangerous levels that you can lose a good amount of time on, so we're gonna treat the jumps just a little bit more cautiously than we normally would. There'd be a lot more rolls that we'd be doing here. Again, that's another example. So we can just kind of quickly drop here. And we should be able to just kind of safely comb our way through this next area here. There we go. And then just sort of recklessly wave our way up there. That's what we have that second stock for. All right. And we're now entering the boss area. Which is composed of two different levels. There's an area, this is the only set of bosses you actually have to fight in the entire game. Which is probably strange to you, because you'd think there would be more bosses, but there isn't really beyond from this first world, so bit unusual. Not... That jump is a very tricky jump. I tend to mess it up fairly frequently, so we're just going to be trying to not mess it up so many times. That's another very tricky jump. Not surprising that this is going to be one of those levels that sort of dogs me just a little bit. This is fine by me. That was a bit of an effort to conserve just a little bit of our time here. Very cooperative boss there. No complaints from that first one. This second one might be the one that gives me some serious resistance. Okay, no. First try on both of them. But we're not out of the woods by any means. Okay, a few more jumps, and okay, we're finally done with Chapter 1. halfway decent, nothing too special. And we're gonna be rolling right into Chapter 2. Which, again, I'd say it's actually a little bit easier than Chapter 1, in my humble opinion. It just takes a little bit of time to get into. Also, fun fact for those of you who have played this game, there's two different measurements of time you can use. You can use RTA, or what the game leaderboards use, which is IGT. I didn't quite get the perfect drop there, and I did mess up the got a little too excited. So there is a jump that you get there at the bottom. I didn't go for it because it's a little too risky, and there's plenty of ways that you can mess this up. So I'm just going to have to walk past here. This is going to be a bit of a time loss, but it does give me a chance to sort of just talk about, you know, arrows are like the big thing that we use in certain difficulties over others. Not terrible, but not great either. Oh, okay. You know what? I was better off just... Yeah, that was what I was better off going for. We could play a little bit more recklessly on that one right there. Ooh, gotta be a little careful on this section. Again, this is another one where we just sort of know that it is very difficult. While doable, it really isn't worth, like... Do I go for it? You know what? Screw it, we go for it. Yeah, we can for that particular area here. Alright. So far, pretty good with the wall jumps. That is a pretty easy one to go for. I can't call it free. Bit unusual that I would take a death there. Yeah, some of these levels are really, really easy. And others are like this level here, which is unnecessarily challenging. I don't know why, but they made this jump incredibly difficult for reasons I don't fully understand. Again, the game devs were like, let's just make that jump a really grueling jump, and everything else is kind of just like relatively uneventful in that level. It's just that first level jump that like can absolutely destroy you. So yeah, I'm not surprised that that one took me a little while. And now we're getting kind of tripped up by another common one. Okay. Oh, what a shame. Because it's that one right there kind of seemed like we were moving along. Ooh, okay.
I would claim that that's like the hardest part of the game out of the way. Until we get to ice. Then it gets worse. Oh, I forgot about that drop. That's like that's an all-timer drop. Fun drop that one is. Oh, great. Checkpoints are very generous in the easy category, which is why we picked that category. As opposed to what we could have picked. And we're nearly out of the woods with this level. Alright, that's fine. For some reason, this particular section here does not allow you to roll down in the other direction. I don't have like a full understanding as to why that's the case. I just know that it is. Alright. This is kind of a really fast-moving section here. There's a couple of quick drops that you have to go for. Thankfully, there is a checkpoint that is provided here. So if we do terribly on this section here, we'll get bailed out by that. But we shouldn't have to worry about that. $460. So that's another one taken care of. So now we're on to chapter 3, 460 and 360 so far. Could be worse. This chapter is maybe a little bit more challenging, but that's kind of up to debate. Being out of practice does not help in that regard. Good roll on that level. Maybe this is the quicker one. Couldn't remember for the life of me. I know there's like a particular set of levels that can be really, really fast if done efficiently. Depends on how many risks you want to take here. Ah, I died at the very end. That's not a level I usually die on. Okay, that's fine. That one I could see coming from a mile away. That's a challenging bit of a jump right there. Always like to go for that at least once. Does save a little bit of time, but if you start messing it up, it gets ugly. Sometimes I forget how these levels work. this is the one where it's like you lose a lot of time if you forget how it works. Is it the bottom one? No. I could go for it, but like... No, it's worth going for. Yeah. Absolutely worth going for. I'll play it a little bit safe here. A couple of those jumps do have the tendency to be tricky. Now, I very well could have gone for the tricky, YOLO setup there, but again, I didn't really have to. Yeah, this is the shorter one. I'll just drop a life there so I can play it as recklessly as I want to. That's a bit of a safe one. You can kind of just grind down on the... Okay. Beautiful. A lot of the themes of each of these is just different elements that you have to fight against, and fire is the big theme of this one. Like, it appears in other places, but not to the same frequency as this particular chapter does. So this is going to be the screen where everything kind of just flips. So what you're seeing is here is going to be kind of changed, but the platforming remains the same. Don't get confused, even though it is very easy to get confused. And that gives us a heart. We've hit our second checkpoint. And I have to be a little bit careful here. That was actually really fantastically handled, I won't lie. That could have been a lot worse, so... Going into the final chapter, which is a bit of a challenge. Which is ice related, so that'll be fun. It's looking like my IGT time estimate is in that, like, borderline PB, but that could change with this chapter here. There are a lot of stupid ways to die here, thanks to this thing called ice physics. And if the ice physics don't take time away from us, don't kill us, then they sure as heck are gonna cost us. Also, when we're in this position, I just want to take a moment to appreciate how darn good the soundtrack is. Like, it is fantastic. Can I just kind of risk it here? Yes, that was absolutely worth it. So there are kind of two choices for how you go around here. I'm going to take this path. It feels easier. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it wasn't the better path. I'm trying to remember if this was the path I took. Maybe it was. They're exactly the same, so... Okay, second try's fine. That could have been way closer than I made it look. And notice how I kind of just set myself up on the very ledge like so. That allows me to roll across. If you are too close, you'll just fall into the pitfall, so... So I must have fallen into the edge of the very last one. No big deal. Just run it again. It's nice to have all 3 lives. Not the end of the world if we don't have them all. And we dropped at the very end that second time. I've always seemed to, like, find unusual ways to mess up that particular turn there. And I'm not quite sure why. It just kind of happens to me fairly frequently. Okay. Got it that time. It's very easy to psych yourself out. That section is, again, one of the most profoundly challenging sections. Yeah, that's what you try to do. Very easy to make mistakes here. I might lose a handful of lives in this area. Again, just due to like how easy it is to bonk the top like so. Okay. Made it through that time. That's good. We definitely needed to... Ah, okay. That could be troubling. No, I got the jumps. I got the hops. We'll see how much faster this next section goes. Alright, got through there, no issue. Some of these require some serious gutsy jumps. There are a lot of, like, gut checks, I like to call them. Whoops, okay. You know what, I can just drop one there. Ah, I forgot. So, like, one of them is built to anticipate the jump, and then the other one is just kind of there to throw you off for a loop. Okay. Well, we do not have a way to get out of there. Yep, okay. Yeah, that's a hard knock. If that happens, not much you can do there. Oh, I'm trying to remember. Is this... No. No, it's fine. That's... Okay, that's right. Now I remembered what I was doing wrong there. Okay, no problem. No issue there with that happening. I just kind of have to swing one life lost, and then... Bit risky. There are a lot of risky jumps that are taken here. You know what, I'm just going to drop there because I have a checkpoint. Beautiful. That's about as good as I could ask for. Okay, well, that's whatever. It's fine. Take it for what it's worth. Take it at face value, knowing well that I kind of got screwed over there. All right, well, this is gonna be awful. Whew. Last two levels are always very tricky. Okay. The fact that we made it through here was a good starting point. Forgot about the spikes. Do some damage boosting. Ah, we're on the last level now. So this is a bit of an auto-scroller. Time's going to be when we get to the top, and it's looking like we're basically on the verge of, like, personal best. Just judging by how this part went here. Alright. We have to be particularly fast here. And I missed it. Okay. I don't remember the patterns to this, but I'm about 31 minutes in so far, which my IGT is about that. I don't know what the end game time is going to total up to, but we'll check that out at the end. I kind of had an estimate for this, like, set at about 40 minutes. This one I remember killing me quite a few times. For some reason I have like natural difficulty with this one. A lot of it just has to do with the fact that I kind of forget how the level works, for one. Alright, and with that we have reached time. So, for our RTA, it was a 32-minute run, which is not even that bad. I will have to look back on the VOD later. But there you go. That was the main story mode. I do believe we have time for one more small run. We can do a run of the Darkest Cave. It's a DLC level, given it doesn't decide to malfunction on me. Sometimes it does do that, so we will get a feel for if that happens to us. What I can do, like I did last time, is I can get a rough estimate of how this went. Because, like, 360, 460, I don't know, 302. Yeah, I can kind of just calculate everything up very roughly. So, 460.